Welcome everyone, it's great to see everyone again today. Today is something a little bit different because I've injured my back so I can't go out for a walk. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how I edit my photos for YouTube and to put up on my website. So without further ado, let's get to it. Okay, you can see here I've got a Lightroom opened up and I've chosen two pictures of kingfishers that I wanted to edit. I've already done this one previously, but I think I'm going to do this one here. So it's already clicked, so I'll go up into the develop module. Now it's a pretty decent picture. It's not super sharp, but when I took it I was at Top Hill Low and it was a dark morning. So the ISO setting is at 2800, which is a bit higher than what I like. I'm at 500mm and a wide open on f6. And it was handheld because I don't have a tripod or any sort of mount at that time. I've got a beanbag now, but that didn't help me back then, so shutter speed were 1,000th of a second, hence is why it's so dark. So at first glance it's not a bad picture, but I don't like all this white or bright area. It was a bush behind and this were just sky. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to crop down on this one a bit. Well, quite a bit actually. Move it to about there. I can make it a bit larger. I don't like to crop too much, but I just don't want to mess around with all that sky. So that don't look too bad. If you notice, I've got this padlock locked so it keeps the aspect ratio. If it was unlocked like that, you could do the height and width that different, but I like to keep it pretty much all the same. So that looks about right, so yeah, I'm kind of happy with that. It's still a bit light up there, but I can live with that. So next, what I want to do is I want to brighten the bird, but I may just up the highlights lower the highlights a little on the whites and bring up the darks just a touch. Something a bit like that. But now what I like to do is, because it's a pretty dark background, before we go any further I want to change the background from grey to white, because it makes a difference when you're printing. If I edit it all now when it's on the grey background, the image will come out a lot darker than if I edit it on a white one. So what I'll do, you go over to where it's grey, you right click and then just choose what colour. You see immediately it looks a lot darker. So what I might do is bring up the blacks a little more and the whites. So yeah, that looks better already. But I want to make this bird and this branch pop out a lot more from the background. So what I like to do is use this adjustment brush. If you click on the show or hide mask overlay, it makes it a lot easier. Press the Z key to zoom in and hold down the space bar, left click, and you can drag the image anywhere you want to. Let go of the button first. Now if you notice down at the bottom you've got auto mask, which helps you go around the edges. So you just left click and hold, and I like to do the edges first. The auto mask isn't 100%, so if you do go over the edges you'll have to go back over to sort it out. If I do, I'll show you. It's very simple to do. You just press down on your Alt key, and you can choose the size, and you can actually erase or wipe out where you've gone over the edge, and then just let go and it goes back to your normal where you can add it, normal mask. Now, don't know if it would be, yeah, it's picking out these hairs pretty well. Higher that one up. Like I said, I like to go around the edges first. This might take some time. I like to do it right first time, if you know what I mean, and a bit too much there. So then once you've gone around the edge once, you can make a bigger brush and just go around all of it. This may take some time, but as the saying goes, I've got more time than money. Make sure I get this eye in. Press down on the space bar, move the image up, and then go around the edge. Now what I'll do is I'll do the bird first, and then I'll come back to do the branch. Get around the edges. See if it'll pick that out. Yeah, pretty good that. Make a bigger brush. Usually I take a lot more time over it, but this one's going pretty well so far. Now I want to pick out the claws or talons, whatever you want to call them. And if anyone has any suggestions of what they'd like to see videos on, please leave a comment in the comment section below, and I'll see what I can do. And incidentally, if you watch till the end, I'll give you details because I'm going to run a competition. So that's pretty much that. So Z key again to zoom out, take off the show mask overlay, and this is where the fun happens. So I'll go up to exposure now and I'll click on it. For this bit I like to use just the mouse wheel, and you can heighten it up a bit, and you can see how much it lightens it. So now I want to bring down the highlights, because on the beak it stands out a bit too much, so I've bring down these highlights, something about there I believe. I'll bring up the clarity as well, and the texture is fantastic on Adobe now. Once a long back since they added it, but I just love the texture. So yeah, if we go back in, you can see a bit better. So I don't think it really needs any dehaze. Yeah, that'll work. Maybe whenever you use your dehaze, you might have to just bring up the brightness a bit more, the exposure. So now we've got that, I want to pick out the eyes a bit more. So if we're going to zoom in, bring it down, go up to new, so you've basically got a new brush. Show mask overlay again, make sure the auto mask is enabled. And just go around the eye. Moving a bit like that. Take off the mask. Now I want to make the darks a bit darker, and I want to show a bit more of the highlights. And that should be about okay. So if I click on done, yeah, that doesn't look too bad at the moment. So that's the before and after, so there's a big difference there. But now I want to work on this branch, so I always like to zoom in. Oop, what's going on? There we go. Zoom in, go back up to my brush tool, make a pretty decent size one. Show the mask overlay again, and just go around this. Take a wide berth around the feet, because we don't want to do the feet again. Come down. This might take a bit longer. Like I said, same as before, just go around the edges. I'm gonna run this competition because I've just hit 56 subscribers, which is way more than I ever thought I would do. I mean, yeah, the more subscribers the better. But when I first started, I only thought I'd get 5 or 6 subscribers from family, because I didn't think that anyone would be too interested on what I'm trying to do. Because I'm far from a professional. But I think over the few months I've got slightly better. Just go up in between the feet here. This is a bit tricky, but press down on that. And start off on the edge again. So yeah, if you're interested in this competition, stick around till the end and I'll give you details of what I want you to do. So yeah, now we've got that, hit Z key, take off mask overlay, lighten up this branch. I like doing wood because you get so much texture. Give it a bit of texture, clarity, maybe bring out the shadows. Now that seems to be taking it away a little bit. Bring down the highlights. Yeah, that looks pretty good, does that? Now, looking at it there, it seems to be taking it away from the bird, so I'll just click on the bird again. Maybe just a bit more. Something like that. Done. Yeah, I'm quite pleased with that actually. Now there's another thing. Oh, I've got lens profile corrections checked and chromatic aberration. That gets done automatically whenever I import a video. I had a preset set up. I learned how to do that on YouTube. But this calibration is a good tool as well. You see, if I up this blue saturation, blue primary, just makes everything a lot brighter. Now you can always go back up to your HSL, which is hue, saturation and luminance, colour and colour tab. But I prefer this one, the saturation and hue, best. So if I move the blue, it makes all the blues better. You see, if I take it right up, it makes it almost purple, but I don't want it like that, so I just want it a little bit, maybe a bit towards the orange for the breast. Yeah. And now if you go to saturation, if I go right, take the saturation right down, it almost looks black. But I'll just increase that to about 12. Increase the orange just a little bit. You don't want to go too much, otherwise it looks false. Bring down the greens from the background a little bit. Something a bit like that. Now if I turn that off and back on, don't know if you can see too much. A lot of it's personal preference, really. Yeah, that looks better. So if I go to the before and after, you can see how much this one pops as to this. So now we've got that done, it's a case of all this noise and grain. Now I use Topaz denoise. I used to use where are we? I used to use this denoise, but I found it blurs everything and takes out the texture. So when I brought it back, it's noisy again. So I don't use this one anymore. So we'll go into Topaz Denoise. It'll make a new picture. So now we're in Topaz Denoise. So there's Denoise AI and the AI Clear. I like to use the AI Clear, and for this one I'll probably try it on medium first and move recover detail up to about 15. That usually works about right. Then I click update. Now you can see this side as to this side, so you can use that slider. Now that brings it out pretty well, but I think it might get a bit better, so I could do it on high, update that. Now that's even better, and if you look you can even see all the feathers popping out. So I think I'll leave it at that. So you just go down to apply and it'll take you back to Lightroom. So now we're back in Lightroom, and this is a new picture. It's actually made a new file in Lightroom for this. So this is basically a whole new picture. So now, I quite like that, and I think it'd be just about good enough to go up onto my website. It's come out a long way from before. So if I go back to the library, and you can see it's made to the old one and the new one. So I'll export this for my photography website. Go to web page photographs, select that one. Don't want it to rename, and yeah, so always double check on your settings. So I'll export that. So now what I want to do is I want one for YouTube. So for YouTube I have that white border. So I'll click on that, go to edit, and then Adobe Photoshop. Edit another copy. So now we're in Photoshop, and I want to put on that white border. So there's two ways. I've got an action already pre-made for the white border, but if you want to go the long way around, you go up to image, canvas size. These are shortcut Alt, Control and C, and I always like to work in inches for doing it. So this image will work well with a 1 inch border, so just height and width, or vice versa, width and height. Make sure you've got the relative checked, and you can choose whichever colour you want, but I prefer the white. And now I want it on background, because if you do foreground it'll just take off the bird. So I want background, and then you just click OK, and boom, there's your border. But I want to take off that and show you this. So to do the action, just that's a different program. If any of you are interested, hit play and it does it for me automatically. Then I hit Control and S to save it. I'm not sure what it is on a Mac. So once that's saved, right now I can X out of that and it'll take me straight back to Lightroom, which is a lot quicker. So if I click on that, so that's my picture for YouTube. So if I hit F, it'll give me a full screen of it, which I think that's turned out pretty well. So now we've got two pictures, one for like my web page or to sell, and one for YouTube. So I'll export this one and choose my YouTube file, and then I'll export that, and that's pretty much it. So if you've liked this video, please give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't already subscribed, please consider it, and if you do, hit that bell notification. So what's left now is to do the competition. I'm sorry it's a bit dark at the moment. So for the competition, what I want you to do is I want you to, in the comments below, I want you to write subscribe and make sure you've subscribed to my channel, like the channel, and put in as a description photograph or print, and what you'll win is an A3 print of any image on my website. It can be one that I've got up on the prints page, or if there's another print that you'd like, I'll do any of them as a A3 print for you from my printers. I don't print anything at home, I send all my prints out to be done. So yeah, if you're interested in that, great. But don't forget to, in the comments, to write subscribe, liked and print. That'll be the best way, and I'll choose a winner at random in a couple of weeks. So that's about it for today. So hopefully you've liked this video, and I will see you again soon. Okay, until then, take care and bye for now.